Well, good morning, dear ones. And of course, a happy Valentine's Day. And in honor of this holiday, I wanted to devote the Dharma Talk to the subject of love. And like that scene in Forrest Gump where Bubba Blue is describing all the different ways to prepare shrimp, we might talk today about practical love, romantic love, friendly love, agape love, material love, playful love, self-love, puppy love. And as you can see, this goes on and on. And also, as you can see, the divisions only lead to more divisions. As Shams Tabrizi, who was Rumi, the Sufi poet Rumi's mentor and teacher, as he tells us, love has no labels and definitions. It is what it is, pure and simple. Love is like the water of life, and a lover is a soul on fire, and the universe turns differently when fire loves water. That last line, the universe turns differently when fire loves water. Fire and water are often considered opposites or even enemies. And as Jesus taught in the Christian tradition, love thy enemy. And in our Buddhist practice, it is when we see ourselves in others. Oneness. Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us that understanding is love's other name. So what happens if our parents did not love or understand each other? We may not have role models to understand what this looks like or how to do this. We may not understand what love is. Or even worse, if abuse is really all we knew as a child growing up, then even abuse can look like love. We may even have become attached or addicted to all the various things that keep us from feeling lonely or alone. You see, the thirst to love and to be loved is a very powerful thirst. And you can sense that every day as we run quickly to check our emails or our Facebook messages or our mailbox. This is the condition of those who love with their eyes. And herein lies the beauty of the process. Because if you are suffering, another way to put that is if you are alone but you want to be in relationship, or if you are in relationship and you want to be alone, or it seems like we're always in one of these two situations, right? And so therefore always suffering. So if you are suffering, suffering is what wakes us up. Suffering is what wakes me up. It's what wakes you up. Because as we experience suffering, we begin to seek refuge. And more important than finding refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha is realizing that you are one of the three jewels. They are not outside of you. As you begin to seek refuge, you begin to cultivate awareness through mindfulness and meditation practice. And then suffering is transformed. Longing is seen as the expression of form to awaken our hearts to know love, to know our true nature. In Rumi's poem, The Love Dog, It was the response of the divine to the yogi who was longing to know divinity. It was in the longing that I answered you every time. Disappointment is transformed into awareness that we have been seeing our partner or even ourselves in an unrealistic way and have been cultivating judgment. Frustration is transformed into understanding that we are trying to make ourselves or our partner different, or expecting love to be in some certain form or to show up in some certain way, and have been blind to all the ways that love has been showing up each and every moment. Loneliness becomes a lighthouse guiding us back home. It is not so much a disconnect from other people as it is a disconnect from ourselves, a disconnect from our own light, from our internal home. Loneliness is a beautiful teacher that can show us the difference between the word and the word or. Because you see, loneliness teaches us that I can be filled up with my own light, no longer lonely, and simultaneously feel sadness over not having a partner right now. What a powerful teaching. And it is expansive. It is open and invites everything into our space of awareness. Awareness unties every knot we have. Awareness is what brings realization that you have taken a neutral experience and made it personal. Awareness, or sati in the language of the Buddha, is where we begin to see how we create separation. And as we stop trying to connect, we find union. Brahma Vihara, love. The heavenly abodes of loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy. And on a day like Valentine's Day, that sympathetic joy, mudita, really can be emphasized and focused on. So many times I hear people that on Valentine's Day, well, they've got someone to give a card to, they've got someone to embrace. Look at all the lovers out there. But see, mudita is the promise of sympathetic joy, feeling their love, feeling their opportunity to give to each other cards, chocolates, and gifts. And when you feel and open your heart to that, you become a lover of the moment, a lover of the expression of love, a lover of trees, of this blanket, lovers of the teachings, lovers of truth of this moment. It stops at I love. You don't need an object. It stops there. In fact, it just stops with love. There really is not even an I to love, because you are love. Love is the whole thing, and we are the pieces. And just like the puzzle pieces are no less the puzzle, even though they are scattered, love is the whole thing, and we are the pieces. So let's practice. Ursula Le Guin reminds us that love must be remade each day like a freshly baked loaf of bread. Warm. It reminds me of our youth and family programs as they teach the cookie breath to the kids. What's a cookie breath, you ask? Well, imagine a freshly baked, warm plate of chocolate chip cookies. Just breathe that in. Savor that for just a few moments. And then release as you reach. That's a cookie breath. And so let us practice. How should we practice today? I want you to open your heart to a playfulness. And I want you to let me and allow me to guide us through a practice of Brahma Vihara love, of loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. And so as you close your eyes and go within, allow me to guide us through this. We can practice every day with Brahma Vihara love. And as we cultivate these seeds, they grow within us each and every day. Instead of watering the seeds of pity, self-pity, judgment, blame, instead we water the seeds of compassion, joy, love, and equanimity. And here's a playful way to do that. We're going to start with a very simple imagery, a simple imagination practice. And then you can learn to apply that to bigger, larger, more intense times and challenges. So let's begin. First, breathing, cookie breath, and releasing, checking in with the body, allowing yourself to become gentle and spacious, and just relaxing into this moment. And now, I want you to playfully invite into your mind's eye the image of a puppy or a kitten. It doesn't even have to be one that you have owned or has been a part of your family. It can just be a puppy or a kitten that you have seen at some time in your life. And I want you to feel in your heart appreciation. Feel the friendliness, the goodwill. There's nothing that this puppy or kitten could do that could make you hate it. There is just a vast, open heart to this puppy or this kitten. And this is metta. Become mindful of the presence of metta within you. It is never outside. It is radiated from our own heart. And now, if this puppy or this kitten gets sick, it's not feeling well, it's kind of lethargic, can you feel within yourself compassion, a caring desire for them to not suffer arises within you? And you set about doing what you can to make them comfortable. And this desire within you for them to not suffer Become fully mindful of this presence within you. This karuna, this compassion. Now, the puppy or the kitten has gotten better, and the puppy has brought, or the kitten has brought you a toy, or you have come home and they rush to greet you. You feel the delight in their joy over this toy or over this ball of yarn, whatever it is that they are so fully involved with. Their happiness. Can you feel that in your heart? Become mindful of this presence of their joy in your heart. This is mudita. This is sympathetic joy. A win for one is a win for us all. And this puppy or this kitten who is playing and is so happy and so joyful, you can feel as well. Let that expand within you. Let it fill your whole being. And then, if this puppy or this kitten loses the toy and becomes frustrated, is sad, crying, or upset, whimpering, can you feel within you the ability to love them with a stability, with a steadfastness that keeps us from being distressed by their loss? This is equanimity. Become mindful of this presence within you that can love them in their distress, can love them in their sadness, and be present with them as they work through it. This is our daily training ground. This is our daily practice, preparing us for the more intense experiences. Our goal in practicing mindfulness is the deepest gift, and this deep gift can bring us the wisdom of non-discrimination. We are not noble by birth. We are noble by virtue of the way we think, speak, and act. The person who practices true love has the wisdom of non-discrimination, and it informs all of his or her actions. Our heart grows large and spacious, and there is room for all beings. And there is a true depth of understanding. This is summed up in a teaching by Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh called The Flower. Often we say, I love you. And we focus mostly on the idea of the I who is doing the loving, and less on the quality of the love that is being offered. This is because we are caught by the idea of self. We think we have a self, but there is no such thing as an individual, separate self. A flower is made only of non-flower elements, such as chlorophyll, sunlight, water. If we were to remove all of the non-flower elements from the flower, there would be no flower left. A flower cannot be by herself alone. A flower can only interbe with all of us. Humans are like this too. We cannot exist by ourselves alone. We can only interbe with each other. I am made only of non-me elements, such as earth, sun, our parents, our ancestors, all the things they consumed. In a relationship, if you can see the nature of interbeing between you and the other person, you can see that his suffering is your suffering, that your happiness is their happiness. With this way of seeing, you speak and act differently. This in itself can relieve tremendous suffering. This in itself is a doorway to awakening.